Howard is excused, Commissioner Emery is excused, Chairman Broder.
Here. All right, I will need a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I will make that motion with the addition of the agreement with Ottawa County.
Support.
I have a motion with support. Any discussion on the agenda?
Where would you like to place it?
Pardon me?
Where would you like to place the
We are
agenda?
going to place that at as item F on Health and Human Services Committee. All right. All in favor of approving tonight's agenda with that change signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And our agenda is approved. Next, I will need a motion to approve the minutes of the July 17th, 2024 Board of Commissioners meeting.
I will make a motion to approve the minutes of the July 17th, 2024 Board of Commissioners meeting.
Support.
Motion to support. Any discussions or changes in those minutes? All in favor of approving those minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the minutes are approved. Next, we move on to approval of the bills. Commissioner Garber, if you would.
Thank you. I move to approve the invoice edit reports dated 7/18, 7/19, 7/26, 8/1, 8/2, 8/6, and 8/9, and authorize Treasury to draw warrants in the amount of $5,085,000, $929.62, which includes both the batch and wire transfer.
Support.
I have a motion with support. Any discussion on the bills or questions? In that case, I would like a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Holzhausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson.
Yes.
Commissioner Garber.
Yes.
Commissioner Howard excused, Commissioner Emery excused, Commissioner Webster excused, Chairman Broder.
Yes. All right, at this time, we have our first opportunity for the public to address this board for up to 3 minutes. I don't have any papers up here. Is there anyone who'd like to address the board today? There will be a second opportunity at the end of the meeting. Seeing no one, we will move on to committee reports. Gary, would you get us started off?
Yes. Yeah, I'm on the 911 board, and they're going to do a new parking lot over there. I don't know if it's started yet, and I hope they're working on the new tower they're going to be putting up. On what stages it is. Probably Diane knows maybe, but what stage is it?
Attorney Bound and a couple other representatives. We're going to meet out there, I believe, today and do a physical look at again.
Oh, it's
and
moving along pretty slow then, huh?
It is, and the construction company brought in their pieces of equipment that they wanted to make sure that they could make the turn without disturbing any of the grave sites, and that did take place, but very slow.
Okay, thanks.
The big issue is they had to move the road access, and it had to do with, because it's a state road, state highway.
Okay, yeah, I'm on this senior citizen board, and things are moving along good over there. And as far as I know, everything's working good. And I'm on the health and wellness board, and I guess we got a water line broke over there, so that's shut down. And I'm on the SEDP with Justin Horvath, and they have a lot of grants and things for the all the businesses, and our next regular meeting is Monday, formal meeting, so everything's moving along good there, so lots of extra money for all these things that they need to do, so that's it.
Thank you. Commissioner Garber.
I'll just piggyback a little bit on what Gary said about community mental health. I think you guys know we've had some change over there, going really well and really bad at the same time. Really well in the fact that we're getting good information on the direction that we need to go, which was lacking. Not so good because some of the information isn't great. But we're getting there, and we're making huge progress, and at the end of the day, what is going to happen is we're going to serve our community better. So that is a good thing. Veterans, it's been 5.5 years now, a little longer. I have yet to miss a Veterans Board meeting, and we are seeing at the new facility, I don't know how, but numbers just steadily, they just keep going up. More people walking in. I was here a week or so ago, looked out Morgan's window and I saw one of my Bennington Township residents. He was going to zoning, but I sent him to veterans instead and he'd never been there. And wartime veterans, so we're doing great work down there. That's all I got.
Thank you. Bill? All right, very good. And the rest of the commissioners absent, we'll move on to our motions. Brad isn't here. Who else is on economic and physical development? No one?
Yeah, I am on it.
Would you read the two motions, please?
Yeah, or why don't you go ahead since you're right there. I'll turn it over to you.
All right. Is that all right? Okay. I move to approve the L-4029 2024 tax rate request as presented and instruct the chair and the clerk to execute the same.
Support.
We have a motion with support. Is there any further discussion on that? Fairly standard thing.
Just briefly, it sets the winter tax amounts. They're listed in your folder there. I went over them on Monday, and it will set the ones for seniors, medical care facility, MSU extension, and the 2 veterans villages.
Very good. Roll call vote on that, please.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Garber?
Yes.
Commissioner Howard excused, Commissioner Emery excused, Commissioner Webster excused, Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
and Chairman Broder.
Yes. I move that we approve the minutes of the August 12, 2024 Economic and Physical Development Committee meeting.
Support.
Motion with support. Further discussion on those minutes. All in favor of approving the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and the minutes are approved. Thank you, Commissioner Broder. Commissioner Garber.
Thank you. I move that we approve the contract renewal with Connie Brown for dietitian services in the WIC program and authorize the board chair to execute that contract.
Support.
I have a motion with support. Any comments?
Grant funded $1 per hour increase.
I think Larry talked about this in the committee meeting. Pretty straightforward. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Garber?
Yes.
Commissioner Howard excused, Commissioner Emery excused, Commissioner Webster excused, Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Chairman Broder.
Yes.
I move that we approve the contract renewal with Shiawassee Regional Service District for school nurse services in an amount not to exceed $1,170,000 and authorize the board chair to execute this contract.
Support.
I have a motion with support. Any discussion on that?
Briefly, this is a grant that we get where we serve as the fiduciary. We then sub it out to the SRSD, and they hire the nurses. There are 9 nurses, and they are across all the different districts. Some of the districts employ them, some of them contract, and this is what provides the school nursing program across our county.
Very good. Anything else? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Howard is excused, Commissioner Emery excused, Commissioner Webster excused, Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Chairman Broder.
Yes.
I move that we approve the request from SCOA for a 6.37 indirect rate as supported by the rate study conducted by MGT.
Support.
I have a motion with support. We discussed this the other day. Dr. Ross, could you briefly, I don't know if Cynthia has anything to say.
So very briefly, we had talked about how we can better get to the actual cost of funding SCOA. And in particular, we do a reimbursable program with them. So for example, their salaries, they turn them into us, we pay for them out of the millage that we collect. They use electricity and gas and other things like that. They turn those bills into us, we repay them. However, we can't pay for upgrades to their physical plant, which is not calculated in that reimbursement. So we used MGT, who does some work for us, and they calculated what is the opportunity cost, if you will, of using that facility. And that way we have incorporated that, so when they send their, they do services, we then add a 6.37% increase above that. Now, you may remember that a couple months ago when MGT started, we put in place a 10% one just as a stopgap measure until such time as the study was completed. The study has now been completed, and they come back with an indirect rate recommendation of 6.37% to help them receive money for the use of their building in ways that we can't otherwise reimburse.
Okay. Cynthia, did you have anything to add?
No, we were pleased with how that report came out, and I was glad that it came out less than the 10%. We've had discussions in regards to moving forward, and maybe down the road we'll be able to look at that contract again when we go to renew it. But right now we're happy with the 6.37%, and we'll go from there.
Questions, anyone?
I got two. Number one, 6.37% of what number?
So the total amount that they turn in for reimbursement. So if they turn in something that's worth $100 of reimbursement, the reimbursement is $106.37.
Okay,
So they get an additional amount. So if that's the indirect cost of using their programming and services.
okay,
So whatever their total bill is, add 6.37% to it.
on top of it, kind of like sales tax, sort of.
Yes.
It's a usage tax, essentially, and it captures what we can't pay for. So there is an opportunity cost, like for example, if we were to look at using this room, well, the county pays for the lights, the county pays for the cleaning, the county pays for this, but what's the cost of actually having this physical plant, this physical room that we're not getting to? And that's where you would get like a room rental fee or something else, like when we rent out the parks, there's a park rental fee. So this is their kind of rental fee for us, and they calculated it to see what would get at their expenses that we don't otherwise cover. So it provides them a little more additional money from the millage. The millage is all that they can collect up to the amount levied. And so usually every year there's a little bit left over. Some years there's more that's taken, which goes into the fund balance of that account. But it doesn't come from the general fund, it's all millage drill.
Okay, my second question was, so you mentioned the salaries, so those are just reimbursed, we're not doing the payroll, correct?
No, we don't do the payroll, no.
Okay. Do we know how many employees approximately?
We have 43,
43.
yeah.
All right, that was my two questions.
All right, anybody else? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Emery is excused, Commissioner Webster is excused, Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard is excused, Chairman Broder.
Yes.
All right, I move that we approve the chairman's selection of Dawn Ritter to the Shiawassee Health and Wellness Board.
Support.
Motion with support. Discussion on that.
Great fit.
Yep. Excellent person. I think we can do that by voice vote.
Yes.
All in favor of approving that appointment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that is approved. Maybe we should move item F
Yeah, I was
up
gonna do
before
that.
minutes.
Yep. All right, so I will move that we enter into an agreement with the Ottawa County Juvenile Detention Center for a bed rental.
Support.
I have a motion with support. Probably a few more words about this since.
Yeah, so our jail is not what they call sight and sound secure or sight and sound protected. So when we take in a juvenile into custody, they cannot be placed in the Shiawassee County Jail. The jail is just not equipped for that under the modern standards. Therefore, they have to be placed in a juvenile detention facility until the case goes through adjudication. In this particular case, we try to use Saginaw, which is very close, and they have a sight and sound protected facility. We have a contract with Monroe, we have a contract with a couple other agencies, and we try to start as close as possible and move out, but it's based on bed availability. And at this point in time, the closest one that has any bed availability for a particular person that they have to place is in Ottawa County. Ottawa County is so far away, we have not currently, or maybe we have in the past, had a contract with them. So in order for us to place this juvenile there, we need a contract in place to place him there. It is a little more expensive than some of the others at $290 a day, but it's the only one that's available currently. The next step is out of state.
I will add that this is not something that can be done, this is kind of an emergency basis, because once a juvenile is in custody that's going to be remanded to jail, that there has to be something in place at that moment, or else they're going to be released on other conditions, right? So that without an agreement in place to lodge these juveniles, the other alternative is that they would be released in the community, perhaps against the better desires of the judge overseeing that case and deciding their terms of their release.
So if I could, Eric, so do we have this person, where are they now?
They have not
We may have a need for it in the future.
They have not been taken into custody because we don't have an agreement yet. Once you approve the agreement, they're going to be taken into custody.
Oh,
we can't
well,
do
better
it.
not tell them then.
So if you get somebody newer, a couple months down the road, there could be somebody in Saginaw, you could use that facility? Is
Oh,
it
yeah.
not this?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, that's what I asked.
We can go back to the closer
Oh, okay.
and perhaps more cost-effective options
Okay.
if they have beds available.
These beds, whenever the bed opens up, we try to get to the closest one possible.
Okay.
But in order to take this individual, we need it.
Okay.
Need something now. Got it.
We had some conversations with our congressman last year, I believe, the year before, about trying to get some kind of a money, carve out something to expand our own jail to include some beds in a sight and sound appropriate situation. I still think that we should do that with the idea that we have these juveniles, and if we have to put a juvenile in jail, sending them up to Saginaw, isolating them from family and so on, I think we can make a good case for the sake of the offender as well as our community. And I'd hope in the future maybe we could do that. I don't think we'll ever find it in our budget to do that, but maybe much like our courthouse across the street, maybe we can get some other monies. I definitely would like to try to do that, not drop that, even if it takes several tries over the years. It would be a big benefit to have that. And there is room across the street. We just move it a little bit, move the jail a little bit out. We've already looked at that with Bramero, as I recall. So it's doable. But you know how much these things cost.
Well, there's two costs here, so we have A at $290 and we have B at $340, is that?
Which page you on?
Page 4.
Page 4.
So it is the A1. The person that's going to be placed is in the A category.
Okay, but if we're approving the contract, then
Yep,
we
that
could
is
also
a
be.
treatment program, but we have no one replacing the treatment.
It remains an option of the contract, but not, it's an option.
Right. I mean, I'm not opposed to the option, but
Right.
at $50 difference
Yeah, I
a
don't know
day.
if it's worth it or not. That would be kind of up to the court system to decide if they thought that was worth it.
Right.
I assume the contract is this an ongoing thing?
It opens the door for us to have an ongoing relationship with it, because currently we don't have one. Or at least we haven't in long enough that we needed a new contract.
Yes,
For them
how-
to even talk to them about placing the child.
And because if it's ongoing, I assume it would be if they have a bed available.
If they haven't
They
been,
don't guarantee us, they guarantee it, we would have to be paying for it even when it's empty.
and our current ones that we do guarantee and we do pay for are filled.
Okay, those are the ones, no, we talked to Sarah, we had a contract, Sarah came in. Is that related to this, or is this completely different?
It's related, those are filled.
Okay, those are the beds we pay for regularly, I recall that.
Yep, and we're using those.
All right, gets a little mixed up with what the needs are, what the requirements are. Okay. Other comments or questions? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Webster is excused. Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Jensen,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard excused, Commissioner Emery excused, Chairman Broder.
Yes.
All right, I move that we approve the minutes of the August 12th, 2024 Health and Human Services Committee meeting.
Or,
I have a motion with support. Any discussion on those minutes? All in favor of approving those minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, and the minutes are approved. At this time, will be comments from myself, other than what the commissioners have already said about community mental health, which has taken up a surprising amount of our time. Everything is going well, but there's, the state and feds are doing some things that could greatly affect our services over there. But I'm relatively confident that there isn't a good choice, but we will manage to have the least bad we can have. Nothing is gonna be too great with what they're changing over there. Things have been rather blessedly quiet here. How are we doing on district court?
I will give you an update on that.
All right. And I really have nothing else tonight. So, Dr. Boggs, I'll turn over to you for comments.
Just a couple of quick things. We'll be starting the budget here pretty quick, so we'll be looking at scheduling some budget meetings within the next month, waiting on a few projections and other things that still need to come in, so we have some more solid numbers. District court is almost complete. We're winding down. There's some painting that's still being done on the first floor, but all the carpeting has been put in, all the other painting has been done, and we're almost complete with that project. So we're close. It'll be done by the end of the summer. And then finally, I believe it was last month, Mike Reeves presented something on the veterans related to a monument. He has met with some individuals, and they're working towards actually putting a price on what it would cost. So we'll see what he comes back with, and then at some point in the near future, that'll be brought back to the board for its review and discussion. But that is as far as we've gotten at it since last month, is he's contacted a few individuals to start looking at prices.
How are we doing with the air conditioning over at district
Yeah.
court?
The air conditioning is running for 2 of the 4 compressors, and it's keeping it moderately cool.
All right.
So the other 2 are on order for replacement.
They gotta
Those-
put some new air conditioners in, is that it, or?
No, just the compressor system.
Oh,
So there's 4 compressors that run the unit. And so 2 of them have died, and they are waiting to replace them. But the real problem was the crack in the piping that caused the coolant to leak out. So that's been fixed. And once that was fixed and recharged, the other 2 compressors kicked back on and worked.
so they're working now, the 2 of them? Oh, okay.
Yeah, 2 out of 4 are working. And it's been slightly cooler, so it's been able to keep up with it.
So as long as it doesn't hit 100 degrees, we'll be okay.
We should be fine for a while.
Yeah.
Long term, I hope. Me too.
All right, thank you. At this point, we have the second opportunity for the public to address this board. Is there anyone who would like to do so? Seeing no one, we're adjourned. Thank you, folks.
Sweet.